everybody. I'm back. I'm waiting until some people get up in here. Been kind of a trippy experience, but I'm still here. I hope you all are doing well. And if you're not, I hope things get better for you. I hope things can improve. Just doing a hangout, just a whatever hangout, whatever we want to talk about. No, it's been what, 3, 4 weeks. Hey there. So life's just been lifing. You guys haven't really missed anything important, you know, nothing crazy on that front, other than, outside of the norm that I've been experiencing and dealing with. But I'm still here. Just kind of had to take a little step back for some personal reasons, but also just, sometimes it's good to take a step back and reassess life and direction, where you want things to go, and just how things are, how things are doing. Um, just wanted to touch base, check in with my followers, see how you all are faring, and just kind of, yeah, shoot the breeze a little bit. Sorry if I sound low energy. I literally been like cleaning my little heart out all freaking morning. So it finally caught up with me towards the afternoon. Kind of conked out a little bit. Normally I'm not a nap person, but I definitely needed it. Hey there, Warrior Lifetimes. How you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Like I was saying a moment ago, this is just a whatever hangout, nothing heavy, just whatever we want to chit chat about, kind of get caught up. Um, Nothing crazy. I have nothing pre-planned or anything. Just kind of shooting at the hip. Or, I probably shouldn't say that. But just, whatever flows to us. Welcome in, welcome in. Hello there, welcome in. Oh, I'm doing good. How are you? See if you had been on. No, I hadn't. Thank you for the subscribe, Banana Man. Thank you. Yeah, I apologize. Um, just kind of life was life and need to take a step away. Had to handle some things, in IRL. And also just been doing a hell of a lot of resting. I'm just be completely honest. Been like just lazing about some days, but sometimes that's just what you need, like if I'm being honest. Or at least for me. Kind of recharge a little bit. Cause this stuff can be draining, can be tiresome, but I don't know. Hopefully we can have some good discussions this evening. I've learned a lot about a lot of things in the last couple of weeks, and I just feel like I'm like brimming with knowledge and information, and just not sure how I want to share it, or if I want to share it, or whatever. All right, so like I said, this live is just a whatever live. I remember doing a post probably about 3 to 4 weeks ago now, asking you all, what you would like my next live to be about. I believe I had esoteric, every frequencies, and then a whatever live, and then also to meet Jay, which is my spouse. But I think I saw like 1 or 2 votes for whatever, so I'm just piggybacking off of that, which I guess works out for me with this, little hiatus that I took just to come back in and, check in and see how everybody's doing. And if there's like been anything significant that we all want to talk about in terms of like the, metaphysical, spiritual realm, TI stuff, like whatever, or stuff like that has been getting better for, some of you or those of you that are experiencing that. Um, or, just hanging out briefly. I don't plan on being on here too long. I just want to touch base and show face, let you all know I'm good. I just kind of needed a moment. Check your channel. Oh, sorry, I'm reading the comments here, or the ones that I'm getting that's coming through anyway. Predict what color is it? I have no idea. I don't even know what you're referring to. I say, but once you figure out what you're talking about, let me know. All right, so I think, I've tried to make my channel non-political as possible, and just kind of staying off of the topics of the world. But I know there's a lot going on. It seems like there's always something going on. I think it's another reason why why it's good to take a step back from social media sometimes and just kind of feel what you're feeling. I know I've had like a lot of mixed feelings about a lot of things, been like on this emotional roller coaster with a lot of things, and having some like spiritual awakenings and just taking the time to kind of sort through some of these emotions that I've been feeling about a lot of the things I've been seeing going around in terms of the world, because of course I'm not out in the physical world on a day to day like most of you all. Again, I'm mostly home a lot of the time, but I still do try to keep myself up to date as best I can with what's happening, in the world, and what's, and just like in our country and stuff like that. And basically, just with all of the, civil unrest with, certain groups of people protesting about, deportations. And then, like, I'm seeing today about, um, what was it, possibly going to war with Iran and all this type of stuff. And I know a lot of this stuff can be disheartening, and it can stir up a slew of emotions. I know for me, I tend to have a unique perspective about stuff like this just because I don't consider myself someone to take sides. When it comes to a lot of this stuff, I try to remain neutral, but again, sometimes my emotions get the better of me and I get, flared up. And it's the humanitarian in me. It's like it's a toxic trait that I have, that I kind of want to save everybody in the whole world. I want everybody to be good, but sometimes I just feel like, you gotta sit back and watch things and watch how stuff play out. And also, it's important not to jump in the way of some people's karma. Sometimes things are happening to folks because, they earned it. And that's why it's important not to just run in and try to jump in and save everybody, because sometimes it's their time to have their timeout session or chastisement session, if that makes sense. No different than any other people have already had to experience. But I'm not gonna, get too into that, just because, like I said, I don't really do politics. I don't claim politics because, again, I see it as a divisive medium to divide people, and that's why I try to stay out of it. And that's, I have my own personal emotions and feelings about stuff, and I voice that at home vocally, of course. Most time with my spouse, me and him will talk about stuff, but I'm not the one to get on here and be like, oh yeah, y'all should this or that, or I'm not gonna do all that. But I don't feel like it would be right for me not to mention it, because I know that some of these things might be impacting you all. And I just want you to know that whatever side you stand on, just, remind yourself that, at the end of the day, everybody has, um, something, that a battle that they're fighting, regardless of what it looks like. And oftentimes it can be easy for people to want to, like I said, jump in and save and rescue everybody. But sometimes you just kind of got to let stuff happen. You got to let stuff play out. And I've kind of said that since the beginning of this year. If you guys go back to some of my earlier videos, that I'm in the energy this year of letting stuff play out exactly how it's supposed to. And that's even in regards to my own life. There's been certain things that, have happened, with me and my family, that I just kind of got to let it play out. Like, as much as I might try or want to be done with certain things, I just kind of got to let it take its course. And yeah, it sucks sometimes to have to, be in the hot seat, so to speak, but it's for a reason. And as I know it to be true, is that pressure makes diamonds. So, even if I don't understand what the reasoning is for it, I'm sure it's going to work out for my good, or at least that's how I'm choosing, the perspective I'm choosing to have about it. And I would encourage you all to do the same. I know for some it might be a little harder than others to just accept something like that. So that's just, me trying to put a positive spin on it. But again, at the end of the day, everybody do what's best for them. That's all I'm gonna say. I definitely want everyone to remember that, with the things going on in the world, as far as talks of war and all this stuff, to not let yourselves get caught up in this. Is basically a energy harvest. Don't, be aware, be cognizant, but don't let yourself get so wrapped up in, the fear mongering and all that. Because at the end of the day, if you're a person who's been doing what they're supposed to do, you've been raising your vibration, you've been putting out nothing but good into the world, understand that no matter what happens, how it happens, that you will be protected. That's it, point blank, period. Because I, for one, I've been, like I said,
Mhm.
paying attention, being cognizant, but I've not sat here and like, oh God, what's gonna happen? What's Because there's no point. At the end of the day, it's just one of those things that you can't really prepare for something like that. You just kind of gotta act. If it, comes knocking on your door, so to speak. So don't let yourselves get drawn into that, that fear cycle, the because that's a lot of what these, entities, beings, government, whatever you want to call it, want. Is for people to be scared and scrambling and panic buying and all this other stuff. So don't let yourself get caught up in that. And I know it's easy to, especially if you're like a bleeding heart like myself. Like, that's why it's so hard for me, because like I do care. Like, I'm not afraid to admit that I'm a person that I do care, but at the same time, I'm kind of having to be on that energy. Like, yeah, I can't burden myself with everybody's plight. I gotta, keep the main thing the main thing. And so, as long as you can go, you have somewhere to go home to at night, you got a roof over your head, clothes on your back, food in your belly, be grateful. Count your blessings in these times. That's the best thing I could tell you. Count your blessings, keep your loved ones close, protect them at all costs, keep yourself safe. Don't do anything that'll cause you to be put in a position to have to react in a certain way that, is out of your character, out of your control. Like, definitely try to keep yourself in control, your emotions in control. And I know I'm speaking to the choir here, because like I said, my emotions have kind of been like all over the place lately too. And I've had some not so good mental health days. I'm just being completely honest. But what always brings me, or what snaps me back out of it, is essentially just reminding myself of everything that I have, and that I'm grateful for what I have, and um, that I know that it'll work out. And I remind myself of all the past things I've gotten through that were even tougher than what I've been through or going through now. And that's what, snaps me out of it, and reminds me that, hey, if I got through all that, I'll get through this too. And it's okay to have, challenging mental health days. It's okay to not be okay some days. The biggest part is just remembering that, you got to give yourself grace. um, because I feel like, the world and the environment, especially in today's time. It's like it's so demanding. It demands a lot from a lot of us, to show up to school, be smiley, be perky, be happy, be and it's like it's not like that all the time. Some days you just like, hey, forget the world, and that's okay. Like everybody have those moments, some more than others. But give yourself grace and just remember that you got this. Nothing that you are going through is permanent. And I believe I've stated also that, it all starts here. It's a mental thing. If you give in to despair and anguish and just being sad and depressed, then yeah, that's gonna be your reality. But if you choose to say, yes, this may be how I feel in this moment, but I know that that's not my reality. You don't accept it, you don't claim it. It's okay to feel it for that moment, but like I used to tell my sons that all the time, like, hey, if you're having a bad day, feel what you're feeling, go through it. But tomorrow's a new day. You get to wake up and oh, so Samuel, I'm doing well today. Thank